Hello, today is Friday, March 26th. Welcome to episode 575 of Fault Lines, the National Security Institute's podcast that gets you quickly up to speed 3 times a week on the national security and foreign policy debates shaking up America. I'm NSI Advisory Board member Lester Munson. I'm joined today by senior fellows Jessica Jones and Amy Mitchell, and for the first time, visiting fellow Jamie Jackson. Jamie, welcome to the podcast. We're excited to have you on. Folks, today we're going to talk about an unexpected development in the war between the U.S. and Iran, and that is the emergence of Pakistan as the interlocutor between the warring parties. Pakistan, of course, has had a longstanding position in the community, as they say in Animal House, for many years, and has always been very good at playing a bunch of different sides on the Eurasian landmass. They are notably adversarial with India, which has become an increasingly important partner of the United States for the last 20 years. So Pakistan kind of got pushed to the back burner. Now they've kind of figured out a way to get more to the front of the stove here, and have in particular reached out to President Trump, who is very agreeable to Pakistan playing this role. The Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has been active in facilitating negotiations. The head of the Pakistani military, Field Marshal Syed Asim Munir, had lunch with President Trump. President Trump called him his favorite field marshal, which has got to be an important distinction for him. And so this, as we're watching all of the other things going on with respect to the Strait of Hormuz and the missiles and what the U.S. strategy actually is in Iran and how long this thing is going to go on and the state of the oil market and the stock market and all that stuff. One of the interesting little side stories is the emergence of Pakistan. Pakistan, again, is in the middle of a bunch of conflicts. It has a very strong economic relationship with China. It has historically had a real security relationship with the United States. Again, that was kind of minimized recently, but maybe that's coming back. One of my favorite factoids about Pakistan is that Imran Khan, who was arguably the world's greatest cricket player, was the prime minister of Pakistan and is now in prison for corruption, which kind of makes me a little reluctant to point that out, because I always thought sports and politics, when they came together, was a real positive for society, but it appears to not be so for Pakistan. Amy, I want to go to you here, maybe for a little more grounding in Pakistan, what it means for the United States, where they've generally fit into our national security strategy. Is there a significance to this of Pakistan kind of emerging as a player in this war?
Thanks, Les, and happy Fun Friday with a very serious topic. So I am going to make this a little fun at the beginning. I don't know how many of you have been on Netflix lately, but they have been promoting Homeland. And I am wondering if people in the administration have been watching Homeland, particularly seasons 3 and 4, which deal with Iran and Pakistan. I've always thought Pakistan, kind of in the global U.S. relationships, in more of the frenemy territory. They are a founding member of the president's recent Board of Peace, same as Qatar, same as Turkey, and we are seeing that the Board of Peace members, I guess you call them, are emerging as leading negotiators in this conflict or war, whatever we're calling it today. And so I think, the U.S. Is turning to non-traditional partners because their traditional partners are saying, essentially, we don't want any part of this. You guys started this. You have to solve it. Pakistan is filling a void, much like we saw with Qatar over the last 4 to 5 years. And I think long term, Pakistan is not our friend. They are not our ally. Yes, we have a defense relationship with them, but they have always played back channels, not always to the U.S.'s best interest. So I think we need to watch this very closely. I do think that sending the vice president to be the lead negotiator, which Witkoff, I don't know his title today.
Special envoy. We'll call him the special envoy.
Special envoy has said that he was not able to get anywhere and that Iran maybe actually be willing to deal more with the vice president as kind of the lead negotiator. So, as the president likes to say, we don't hold the cards. Iran holds the cards right now. So I would just say, furthermore, on the Homeland track, if you are watching Homeland again, somebody in the White House, please remember how poorly this all turned out for the United States. This is probably not the best strategy to implement. That is my fun Friday.
I think we're looking at bad weather this weekend in the national capital area here, so maybe folks could binge watch.
No, I'm saying don't.
Oh, don't.
I was gonna say, if you start it, you have to finish it, though.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
not mid-season.
Jamie, of course, there's more than one branch of government that gets to make foreign policy. We also have the Article 1 branch, my favorite branch, the legislative branch. What are your thoughts about Pakistan and Congress?
Well, first, Pakistan is speaking the president's language here. Deal making is foreign policy. They're using arguably their most strategic foreign asset to gain influence after years of waning influence, given its location in Manhattan, as well as its estimated $1 billion value. And so they're essentially holding up their trophy to really get the president's attention, to get the United States attention, and it seems to be working. However, there's very limited deals about what this memorandum of understanding includes. Just a few weeks ago, there was a transportation and infrastructure hearing in the House where the lead Democrat, Rick Larson, asked the GSA administrator, he pressed him for more details, and essentially the administrator left the door open for the U.S. to exit this MOU if need be. The administrator basically said, this is an MOU to start discussions about a potential partnership. He said that it's not binding. He also said that it passed legal scrutiny and that he would provide a copy to the committee. And so what I'm going to be looking for is for more oversight from the relevant House and Senate committees in Congress to really press the president and the administration to provide more details about what this agreement will hold.
Jamie, you're talking about this hotel in New York owned by the government of Pakistan and possibly doing a deal with the U.S. government, and how they're kind of using real estate to reach our real estate developer president.
Yes.
Yeah. It is amazing. By the way, the first time on the podcast when we've talked about the House Transportation Committee, was it the Transportation Committee?
Yes.
Rick Larson. Yeah. Rick Larson, who, by the way, is one of my favorite members of Congress. Terrific guy, Democrat from the state of Washington. We've not been able to mention him before in 575 episodes. So this is a lot of things coming up to the front in the chaos of the Iran war. Pakistan, Rick Larson, some hotel in New York that we're now is part of international diplomacy.
Somehow,
Jones,
is it surprising though?
It's not. I guess it's not surprising. Jones, what do you make of this wonderful confluence of narratives?
I agree, largely with kind of the conversation that we're having. Obviously, Pakistan has put together a very intentional and deliberate effort to strengthen its position with the administration. Maybe it's seeing cues from the first Trump administration, or how Middle East partners have kind of curried favor with the administration. But they hired lobbyists. They have been building personal relationships. They've also, we know how much the president enjoys kind of public credit, right? So they gave the Trump administration credit for a ceasefire ending hostilities between Pakistan and India last year. As Amy pointed out, Pakistan joined the Board of Peace. Like, they're doing all the right gestures to make sure they're in good standing. And I think, I don't want to call it a transactional, foreign policy that we're seeing here, because I think the term now that we're seeing is flexible partnerships is the new term. And I think they're seeing the opportunity that the Trump administration's kind of flexible approach to partnerships looks like. So favor can come quickly, as we see they're playing this role negotiating between Iran and the U.S., and who knows where that can lead and what other opportunities the Trump administration might find for them. But the downside of kind of this relationship we've seen and discussed the Trump administration being a bit mercurial is you can gain favor, but you can also lose it pretty quickly, right? So at the beginning of the administration, India, Modi came in, he wanted to make India great again. He was saying all the right things. They've got like a bromance. He's friends with President Trump. And yet India was hit with really high tariffs. For all of that camaraderie and, talking points, it didn't get them anywhere. They're not members of the Board of Peace in the first summit. They actually are just observers. And so they find themselves kind of on the sideline right now, right? And they actually, our Undersecretary of Defense, Bridge Colby, is India right now, in fact. And he's, of course, talking up the U.S.-India relationship, India's indispensable role in the world, the Indo-Pacific, our Indo-Pacific strategy. But I'm left like, does that visit matter? It's not Vance, it's not Rubio. Even if it was Vance or Rubio, would they matter? Would that visit actually mean anything? We know that President Trump is kind of a one-man foreign policy machine. And so he's the one that decides when favor has been won and when disfavor is going to be kind of meted out. So I think India just doesn't know. And Pakistan right now is doing the right things, but that balance could change quickly.
Well, excellent points from all of our panelists here, even if we're kind of coming from different directions. I do think it shows the success of Pakistan, at least to this moment, in kind of shaking off some of its baggage and getting to be a player in an important, like the most important kind of international issue of today. Really shows how this administration is willing to break norms and think outside the box. That can be good. It can be bad. Pakistan is being very opportunistic here. They're also talking to the administration about critical minerals and crypto and counterterrorism and a whole bunch of issues that
I love that crypto is wedged between counterterrorism and critical minerals.
The 3 C's, my friends: crypto, counterterrorism, critical minerals. Super, and maybe the 4th, cricket. I think we underestimate the power of cricket. Something that maybe the fault line should look into a little bit more. But really a fascinating kind of case study in how a country can be opportunistic and look to do a deal with the United States on these priorities of kind of the new international order. Okay, that's a wrap. Thanks always to Kelly Crowley, Grace Trice, Claude Jennings, and the NSI staff for the help in producing today's episode. Join us on Monday, March 30th for another episode of Fault Lines, the National Security Institute's podcast that gets you smart fast on the national security and foreign policy debate shaking up America. We're on YouTube, so check out our channel there for a video of today's episode and see our smiling faces. If you like what you heard or saw, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.